Rain poured on the grave like the sky was angry. Mud splashed onto Zara's skirt as the men lowered her mother's coffin into the ground. No shelter. No prayers. Just whispers. Poor woman. She died with nothing. What a useless life. Zara stood barefoot in the wet soil, fingers locked together, breathing through pain. Her mother's small bag lay on top of the coffin before it disappeared into the earth. Then a black car stopped. The engine cut, and a man in a dark suit stepped out. He walked slowly through the rain, past the umbrellas, past the grave, and stopped in front of Zara. He opened a folder and said one sentence that froze the entire funeral. "Who here is Zara Adebjo, daughter of Madame Mornike Adebjo?" Zara lifted her face, rain on her lashes, mud on her feet, heart shaking. "I am," she whispered. The man looked at the grave, then back at her, and said, "Your mother was not poor." Silence swallowed the rain. What could make a banker come to a muddy village funeral? And what secret did her mother carry into the grave? The rain did not stop. It drummed on black umbrellas, on bare heads, on the fresh brown earth like it wanted to wash the village away. Zara stood near the grave, her thin slippers soaked, her black dress clinging to her legs. Her hands were locked so tightly her fingers hurt. The coffin disappeared inch by inch, and with it, the only person who had ever called her my light. Auntie Bissy stood under a large umbrella, gold bangles shining, lips tight with irritation. "Hurry," she snapped at the men. "This rain will spoil my shoes." Chief Cunnell cleared his throat. "We have done what is required. She was a simple woman. Let us finish." Murmurs moved through the crowd. "Poor woman. No husband. No land. No achievement." Each word hit Zara harder than the rain. Her chest felt hollow. Mama's old brown handbag lay on the coffin, the same bag her mother never allowed anyone to touch, the same bag she slept with near her pillow. Zara stepped forward suddenly. "Please," she said softly, "let her bag stay with her." Auntie Bissy turned sharply. "Why, what is inside? Old clothes, shame." The men hesitated. Chief Cunnell waved his hand. "Leave it, nothing of value is there." The coffin dropped lower. Mud splashed. The bag slipped and vanished into the grave. Zara gasped, stepping forward, but strong hands gently pulled her back. "Enough," Auntie Bissy said. "She is gone. You are still nothing. Learn to accept it." Zara's knees trembled. Then the sound came. A car. Not a motorcycle. Not a bus. A low, smooth engine. People turned. A black car stopped near the trees. The door opened. Polished shoes touched wet ground. The man who stepped out did not carry an umbrella. Rain darkened his suit, but he did not hurry. He walked straight to the grave. Straight to Zara. He studied her face, as if matching it to a memory. "Who is Zara Adebjo?" he asked. No one answered. Auntie Bissy frowned. "Why?" The man opened his folder. "Because," he said calmly, "I have been searching for her since last year." Zara felt dizzy. "I am Zara," she whispered. The man's eyes softened. He looked at the grave, then at her. "Your mother," he said, "was not who this village thought she was." The rain felt suddenly very loud. Auntie Bissy laughed sharply. "Are you mad? She was a nobody." The man slowly closed his file and said, "Madam, she was one of our most important clients." Zara's breath broke. "Client of what?" she asked. The man looked at her and said, "The bank." The crowd leaned closer. Auntie Bissy's smile vanished. Zara whispered, "My mother at a bank." The man nodded once and added, "And she left something only you can receive." Rain still fell, but the crowd had moved closer. Whispers replaced prayers. "A banker? For that woman? Impossible." Zara stood frozen as the man in the dark suit closed his folder. "My name is Mr. Ade," he said calmly. "I represent Horizon Bank." Auntie Bissy let out a short, dry laugh. "Then you are at the wrong grave." Chief Cunnell nodded. This woman lived in a leaking room and sold vegetables. There is nothing here for any bank. Mr. Aded did not argue. He only looked at Zara again. Madam, he said, your mother opened an account with us many years ago. She came every month, always alone. Zara's lips trembled. My mother, she barely had money. Mr. Aded's eyes did not leave her face. That is what made her unusual. A murmur rose. Auntie Bissy stepped forward, umbrella tilting. You are trying to embarrass this family, she snapped. We are burying the dead. This is not a market show. Mr. Aded inclined his head slightly. Then let us speak privately. Zara felt a pull inside her chest. Please, she said, tell me. Auntie Bissy grabbed her arm, hard. Enough, she hissed. You will not start new shame today. Zara winced. Chief Cunnel raised his hand. This funeral is over. Anyone who has something else to say can go to the city office. The men began covering the grave. Mud hit the coffin. Final. Zara's stomach twisted. Mr. Aded took out a simple card and held it toward Zara. This is my number, he said. Come tomorrow, there are things that do not belong in the rain. Before Zara could reach for it, Auntie Bissy snatched it. We will not go anywhere, she said. My sister was poor, this girl is poor, end of story. She tore the card once, then again, and dropped the pieces into the mud. A sharp sound escaped Zara's throat. Mr. Aded watched the pieces sink. Slowly, he reached into his pocket and brought out another card. He handed it directly to Zara. Tomorrow noon, he said. Auntie Bissy's eyes burned. You think because you wear a suit you can rewrite our lives, she shouted. Look at her, she cannot even bury her mother with dignity. The crowd did not defend Zara. Some nodded. Some looked away. Zara bent slowly and picked up her mother's small scarf from the wet ground. Her hands shook. Inside her chest, something began to change. Not understanding, but anger. Mr. Aded stepped back. I am sorry for your loss, he said quietly. Your mother carried many things alone, you should not. He turned and walked. That night in her small room, Zara opened her mother's old wooden box. At the bottom, she found a folded paper she had never seen before. And written on it was one word. Horizon. After the burial felt heavier than the rain. Zara sat on the thin mattress in her small room at Auntie Bissy's house. The bulb above her flickered weakly, throwing long shadows on the wall. In her lap lay her mother's old wooden box. The smell of dust and dried leaves rose as she opened it again. Inside were only simple things. A torn wrapper, 2 rusted hairpins, a broken comb. At the very bottom, the folded paper. Her fingers hesitated before opening it. Horizon. Just one word. No date. No explanation. Her heart beat faster. Why would her mother hide only this? The door creaked. Zara looked up quickly. Auntie Bissy stood there, arms crossed. What are you doing? She asked. Nothing, Zara replied softly, closing the box. Auntie Bissy entered and kicked the door shut with her foot. You embarrassed me today, she said, in front of the whole village. Zara lowered her eyes. I didn't plan anything. Silence, Auntie Bissy snapped. Your mother filled your head with foolish dreams. Now she is gone. You will live in reality. She pointed to the corner. Tomorrow you go back to the market. Double work. We need money for the burial food. Zara nodded. Auntie Bissy's gaze fell on the wooden box. Give me that. Zara's fingers tightened. It is Mama's. A sharp sound cut the air. Auntie Bissy had slapped the box out of her hands. It hit the floor and burst open. The paper slid out. Auntie Bissy froze when she saw it. She picked it up quickly. What is this? She asked. Zara shook her head. Auntie Bissy read the word, her lips pressed thin. Horizon, she said slowly. Where did this come from? It was Mama's, Zara replied. For a second, something like fear crossed Auntie Bissy's face. Then it vanished. She tore the paper in half and dropped it into the small waste bowl. Trash, she said, like all her secrets. Zara's chest burned. Why are you angry? Zara whispered. Why don't you want me to know? Auntie Bissy stepped closer. Because knowing ruined your mother, she said coldly, and it will ruin you. She turned to leave. At the door, she stopped. If you go to that bank tomorrow, she added, don't bother coming back here. The door closed. Zara did not move for a long time. Then slowly, she reached into the waste bowl. She pulled out the torn paper and smoothed it on her thigh. The word was broken, but still readable. Horizon. Her heart steadied. The next morning, Zara stood before the small crack. As the bus doors closed and the village faded behind her, Zara did not see Auntie Bissy standing at the gate, watching her leave. Her hand slowly tightened around her phone. And she made a call. The city swallowed Zara. The bus dropped her near tall buildings she had only seen from a distance. Glass walls, shining floors, people walking fast, eyes forward, clothes clean and sharp. Zara adjusted her simple dress and stepped down. The word echoed in her head. Horizon. She asked 3 people before someone pointed. The building rose above her like a wall. Horizon Bank. Her stomach tightened. Inside, the floor shone like water. Cold air brushed her skin. Soft music floated somewhere she could not see. Zara walked forward carefully. 2 security men stood near the entrance. Their eyes swept over her. Where are you going? One asked. I am looking for Mr. Ade, Zara replied. They glanced at each other. Do you have an appointment? No, sir. Then go to reception. She nodded and walked past. The receptionist barely looked up. Yes. My name is Zara Adebjo. A man came to my mother's burial yesterday. He said to come today. The receptionist's fingers paused on her keyboard. What department? I don't know. A sigh. Sit there. Zara sat on a cold chair near the glass wall. People passed, laughed, talked into small phones, did not look at her. Minutes stretched, then an hour. Her hands rested on her knees. Each time a man in a suit passed, her heart lifted and fell. A woman beside her whispered into her phone, "Some village girl is just sitting here since morning." Zara pretended not to hear. Her stomach tightened with hunger. Finally, she stood and approached the desk again. Please, she said softly, he told me noon. The receptionist frowned. No one told me anything about you. A man behind the desk glanced at Zara's worn slippers and looked away. Go, he said. If he wants you, he will call. Zara's face burned. She turned back to the chair. And that was when she saw him. Mr. Ade stood near the elevators, watching her. Not surprised. As if he had expected this. He walked toward her. The receptionist straightened quickly. Sir, I didn't know. It's fine, he said. He stopped in front of Zara. You came, he said. Zara nodded, standing. I told you there are things that don't belong in the rain, he said gently. But some things also don't belong in public. He turned. Come. They walked through glass doors into a quieter hallway. The noise of the bank faded. They entered a small office. Simple, clean, no luxury. Mr. Ade gestured for her to sit. You look like your mother. Zara's breath caught. Then for who? She whispered. Mr. Ade's voice lowered. For you. Zara's fingers trembled as they touched the brown file. The paper felt thicker than she expected. He opened it for me, she whispered. Mr. Ade nodded once. For you, but not for the Zara standing here today. For the Zara your mother believed you would become. Zara slowly pulled the file toward herself. Inside were neatly arranged papers, dates, signatures, small printed statements. She did not understand most of them. But one thing was clear. This file was old. Very old. She started this when you were still a child, Mr. Ade said. She came after selling her late husband's land, not to spend, to protect. Zara's breath caught. My father's land. Yes. Mr. Ade slid one paper forward. On it was a name, Mornica Debjo, and beneath it numbers. Zara's eyes widened. The numbers did not look like market money. They looked heavy. "Is this real?" she asked. Mr. Ade watched her carefully. It grew slowly, safely, year after year. She never withdrew. She only added. Zara pressed her fingers to her mouth. All those nights Mama said she was going to pray. All those mornings she came back tired. All those coins she hid. Hope rose in Zara's chest like air in drowning lungs. "So my mother left me something," she whispered. "Yes," Mr. Ade said, "but that is not the most important part." He took another document from the file. This one was thinner and newer. "She came one last time," he continued, 3 months before she died. Zara's smile faded. "She was afraid," he said, "not of death, of people." Zara looked up. "Of who?" Mr. Ade placed the paper between them. "Of the people who were already spending what they did not know existed." Zara stared at the page. It was a request, a protection order, a private instruction, her name written in her mother's handwriting. Zara's hands shook. "What does this mean?" she asked. Mr. Ade's voice lowered. "It means your mother believed someone close to you would try to take this." A cold wave passed through Zara. "Who?" she whispered. Mr. Ade did not answer immediately. He only said, "Before she died, she asked us to delay everything until after her burial." Zara's heart pounded. "Why?" "Because," he said, "she said the truth would change how people treated you." Zara closed her eyes. Auntie Bissie's slap. The torn paper. The threat. Her chest tightened. "She knew," Zara whispered. Mr. Ade nodded. "And she was right." Mr. Ade leaned forward. "There is something else," he said, and slid one final page across the desk. At the top was a heading, ATTMPTD access log, and underneath it was Auntie Bissie's full name. Zara stared at the name on the page. Bissie Adami. Her aunt. Her throat went dry. "Access log," she whispered. "She came here." Mr. Ade nodded slowly. "Twice," he said. "Once 6 months ago, once again 3 weeks ago." Zara's hands tightened on the file. "But she told everyone Mama had nothing," Zara said. "She laughed, she called her useless." "Many people hide what they want to take," Mr. Ade replied. He turned another page. Zara saw dates, desk numbers, initials. "She did not have the right codes," he continued. "She tried as next of kin, then as business partner. Both failed." Zara's chest ached. "So Mama knew," she said. "She knew Auntie was already trying." "Yes," Mr. Ade said. "That is why she changed the conditions." He pointed to the paper with Zara's name. "She locked everything to you. Face verification, personal appearance, no transfer without you." Zara pressed the paper to her chest. Mama had protected her. Even in silence. Tears burned her eyes. "For the first time in many years," Zara said softly, "I feel like she was building something." Mr. Ade watched her. She was. Hope rose again. Small, fragile, but real. "So what happens now?" Zara asked. Mr. Ade took a breath. "Now," he said, "you decide whether to activate it." Zara lifted her head. "Activate." "Yes, once activated, the protection ends. The account becomes visible, and those who tried to touch it will know." Zara's heart skipped. "They will know I have it." Mr. Ade nodded. "And when people know," he said quietly, "they chain." Zara's mind filled with Auntie Bissie's face. Her voice. Her grip. Zara stood up suddenly. "I need to go home," she said. Mr. Ade frowned. "That may not be wise." "I need to see her," Zara said. "I need to look at her and know." Mr. Ade held her gaze. "Truth often comes with pressure," he said, "and pressure exposes intentions." Zara gathered her bag. "I will be careful." He stood as well. "If you go back," he said, "do not mention this, do not show fear, and do not agree to anything." Zara nodded. As she turned toward the door, Mr. Ade added, "There is one more thing your mother left." Zara stopped. He opened a small drawer and brought out a thin key on a black string. "She asked us to give you this only if you came alone," he said. Zara took it. "What does it open?" she asked. Mr. Ade's eyes darkened slightly. Something she did not trust to any bank. Zara's fingers closed around the key. Outside, the city noise rushed back. As Zara stepped into the street, her phone vibrated. A message. From Auntie Bissy. "Where are you?" Another came immediately. "Come home now." Zara felt a chill. Then her phone rang. The screen lit up. Auntie Bisi calling. Zara looked at the key in her hand. Then at the phone. And slowly she answered. "Where are you?" Auntie Bissy's voice came sharp through the phone. Zara stepped away from the bank entrance, the city noise filling her ears. "I went to breathe," Zara said quietly, "after the burial." A pause. "You breathe in my house," Auntie Bissy replied. "Come back now." Zara closed her eyes once. "I am on my way." She ended the call. Her fingers tightened around the thin key. The bus ride back felt longer than before. When she reached the village, the sun was already leaning low. Auntie Bissy stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "You think you are a city woman now?" she said as Zara approached. "Running without telling me." Zara lowered her eyes. "I was confused." Auntie Bissy studied her face. Then she turned sharply. Inside, the house smelled of food and dust. Zara followed her to the sitting room. On the small table lay her mother's old brown handbag. Zara's heart jumped. "You were looking for this," Auntie Bissy said. "I found it near the grave after the rain." She pushed it forward. Zara hesitated, then took it. Inside were the familiar things. Comb, cloth, small mirror. Nothing else. Auntie Bissy watched closely. "Is that all?" she asked. Zara nodded. Auntie Bissy's eyes narrowed slightly. "Good," she said, "because there is nothing more and there will be no more stories." She walked to the door. "Tomorrow you return to the market, no more wandering." She left the room. Zara sat slowly. Her hands explored the bag again. Then her fingers touched something hard. Not cloth. She froze. Carefully, she pushed her hand into the lining. Her breath caught. There was a hidden seam. And behind it, something small and cold. She pulled it out. A tiny metal lock. Her heart raced. Zara looked at the thin key in her palm. They were not the same shape, but they were the same size. She pressed the key gently. It slid in and turned. Softly, the lock opened. Inside the lining was folded paper and a very small old phone. Zara's hands shook. She unfolded the paper. It was an address. Not in the village. Not in the city. Somewhere between. And beneath it, written in her mother's hand. "Do not go there unless they start being kind." Zara's stomach dropped. Being kind. Footsteps came down the hall. Zara quickly slid everything back into the lining and closed the bag. Auntie Bissy entered. She carried a plate of food. She set it before Zara. "Eat," she said. Her voice was softer. Zara looked up. Auntie Bissy was smiling. Not her sharp smile. A gentle one. "You have suffered," she said. "I was hard because life is hard, but you are my sister's child." Zara's skin prickled. Auntie Bissy reached out and touched Zara's hair. "You can rest now," she said. "Everything is finished." Zara forced herself not to pull away. Inside her chest, something whispered. They have started being kind. Part 7 cliffhanger. That night as Zara lay on her mattress, her phone vibrated. A new message from an unknown number. We know you went to the bank. Zara did not sleep. The message burned in her mind. We know you went to the bank. She lay still, listening to the house. Auntie Bissie's door closed. Footsteps faded. Silence returned. Slowly, Zara reached for her mother's brown bag. Her fingers found the hidden seam. The tiny phone slid into her palm. It was old, scratched, but charged. She pressed the side button. The screen lit. No lock. Only one saved number. Home. Zara's heart beat faster. She did not press it. Instead, she opened the folded paper again. The address. A narrow road between two towns. An old store building near a river. And her mother's words. Do not go there unless they start being kind. They had started being kind. The next morning, Auntie Bissie greeted her with tea. You look tired, she said gently. You should rest today. Zara nodded. I will go wash clothes by the river, she said, to clear my head. Auntie Bissie waved her away easily. Good, stay close. Zara walked out. But at the junction, she turned and took the road that led away from the village. The bus dropped her near the old industrial stretch where shops had died and warehouses stood empty. She walked, dust on her shoes, wind in dry grass, the river sound growing louder. Then she saw it, a low concrete building, paint peeling, windows clouded, no sign. Her chest tightened. She stood outside for a long moment, then pushed the door. It creaked open. Inside, the air was cool and smelled of old paper. Light cut through high windows. There were shelves, not shop shelves, file shelves, boxes, folders, locked cabinets. Zara stepped in slowly. On one wall hung a faded picture. Her mother, younger, standing beside a man Zara had never seen. Both smiling. Zara's throat closed. She moved closer. Below the picture was a small wooden desk. On it lay a single notebook. Zara opened it. Inside were lists. Dates, names, small amounts, then larger ones. And between them, notes. From the land sale. From the women's group. From the textile contract. Zara sank into the chair. Mama had not just saved. She had worked, negotiated, built, quietly. Zara's fingers turned another page. The handwriting changed. More urgent. They are asking questions. Bissie brought a man. I must divide what is seen and what is not. Zara's breath shook. Her phone vibrated. Another message. Come home, we are worried. Zara looked at the shelves, at the cabinets, at the picture. The door moved again. Slow, careful. Zara's fingers tightened around the notebook. Her heart did not race like before. It steadied. Footsteps sounded on the concrete floor. Then a shadow crossed the light. Zara. She recognized the voice. Relief and danger hit her together. Auntie Bissie, Zara said. The door opened fully. Auntie Bissie stood there, breathing lightly, scanning the shelves. So this is where you ran, she said. You were never good at hiding. How did you find me? Zara asked. Auntie Bissie smiled faintly. Your phone, she said. You forget how many things come with kindness. Zara placed the notebook on the desk. You followed Mama here, she said, didn't you? Auntie Bissie did not answer immediately. She walked deeper into the room, touching a dusty shelf. She made me believe she needed help, Auntie Bissie said. She let me see small things, small money, small work. She turned, but she never opened the whole door. Zara felt the truth settling. You were looking for this place, Zara said. Yes, Auntie Bissie replied softly, and now you brought me. Zara's jaw tightened. No, she said, I came to understand it. Auntie Bissy stepped closer. Then understand this, she said. Whatever she left is too heavy for you. You are not built for it. Zara lifted her chin. You raised me to carry heavy things, she said. For a moment, Auntie Bissy's eyes flickered. Then her face hardened. Come home, she said. We will talk. Zara shook her head. I already talked with the bank. The room felt colder. Auntie Bissy stopped moving. They told you? She asked quietly. Zara did not answer. That was enough. Auntie Bissy exhaled through her nose. Then you have made this difficult, she said. She reached into her bag. Zara stepped back. Don't, Zara warned. Auntie Bissy paused, then slowly removed her hand. She looked at Zara carefully now. Not as a child. As an obstacle. You think knowing changes power, she said. It doesn't, control does. Zara's phone vibrated again. She took it out. Another message from the unknown number. Leave the building now. Zara looked at Auntie Bissy. Then at the shelves. Then at the door. I already did, Zara said. Did what? Auntie Bissy asked. Zara raised her phone. Everything you wanted, she said. I already sent it. Auntie Bissy's eyes widened slightly. What? Zara's thumb hovered over the screen. While you were looking at the shelves, Zara said, I was talking to someone else. She pressed the call button. The phone rang once. Then a voice answered. Zara, Mr. Ade said, we see your location. Auntie Bissy turned sharply. Zara met her eyes. And they see yours too, Zara said. From outside the building, the low sound of approaching cars reached them. Auntie Bissy's face changed. And for the first time, she looked unsure. The sound of cars grew louder outside the building. One, then another. Auntie Bissy's eyes moved toward the door. Then back to Zara. What did you do? She asked quietly. Zara did not answer. She stood very still. For once, she did not need to speak. Footsteps approached. The warehouse door opened wide. Mr. Ade entered with two men in dark jackets. Behind them came a woman in a simple suit carrying a slim case. They did not rush. They did not shout. They walked with the calm of people who already knew the end. Good afternoon, Madam Bissy, Mr. Ade said. Auntie Bissy turned sharply. You have no right to be here. The woman opened her case. She removed a set of papers. You signed here, she said, placing them on the desk. And here and here. Auntie Bissy's lips parted. These are records of attempted access, the woman continued. False identity statements, and 2 private offers made using a name that does not belong to you. Zara watched her aunt's face change. The woman slid one final document forward. And this, she said, is a witness declaration left by Mornike Adebio. Zara's breath caught. Mr. Ade turned to Zara. Your mother knew she would not live long, he said, so she prepared what would speak when she could not. He nodded to the woman. She opened another file and began to read. Mornike Adebio states that her sister, Bissy Ademi, became aware of her private financial activities, that she brought unknown men, that she pressured her, and that if anything happened after her burial, her daughter Zara should be protected. Auntie Bissy shook her head. She was sick, she said. She imagined things. The woman looked up. She also recorded dates, places, conversations. She placed a small device on the table. Auntie Bissy went still. Zara felt tears rise. Not of fear, of release. You buried her in the rain, Zara said softly, calling her poor. She stepped forward, but she was building something while you were watching. Mr. Ade turned to Zara. Do you wish to activate your mother's instructions now? He asked. Zara breathed in and nodded. Yes. The woman closed the file. Then from this moment, she said, all accounts connected to Mornike Adebio are formally transferred to Zara Adebio. All attempted access remains under review. She looked at Auntie Bissy. and all false claims end today. Silence filled the room. Auntie Bissie's shoulders lowered. Not in relief. In defeat. Zara walked to the desk where the old picture lay. She picked it up. Her mother's smile met hers. Later that evening, Zara stood alone at the fresh grave. The rain had washed the mud smooth. She placed flowers gently. "They called you poor," she whispered, "but you were protecting me." She stood straighter. "I will not hide anymore." The wind moved softly through the trees. And for the first time since the funeral, Zara felt rich. Not in money. In truth. Sometimes the people the world calls poor are only quietly carrying something powerful. If someone treated your family as small, what truth would you wish could speak for them? Tell me in the comments.